On this episode of Out of the Box Gaming, let's talk duty with Santa. Yep, you heard that right. Let's talk duty with SantaSlayz. So power up your favorite console, press play, and enjoy gaming with us. What's up, gamers? Welcome to Out of the Box Gaming. I'm your host, Nick Picard, and I am joined by the man who is all about that duty, Will Kinsey.
Okay.
If you are joining us for the first time or the 48th time, we would like to welcome you. We are a gaming podcast where we talk about all types of games, like video games, board games, card games. We sometimes will have special guests where we learn about their story, their journey into gaming. And you may ask yourself, why are we going to talk about this? And it's because we want to, and we think we have something to say that you may want to hear.
That's right, everyone. We want to share our love of games with you and possibly introduce you to something new.
If you want to catch us live, you can do that by going over to twitch.tv/AceKingKing on Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, except for today.
Normally.
We are also joined this afternoon by our wonderful producer, Lindsay.
Hi.
And we have a special guest with us again today. He has been with us before. We previously got to talk to him about his life with gaming and streaming career. And if you want to go check out that episode, you can do that by going over to episode 39. He has joined us again today to talk about one of his favorite gaming franchise. Please welcome SantaSlayz.
Yo, thank you guys so much for the warm welcome.
Always.
We are so glad to have you, Santa.
Happy to be back, brother. Happy to be back.
Also, guys, please be sure to check out our Discord. We want to hear from you, so feel free to drop any topic ideas or discussion questions that you'd love to hear us talk about. This can be done by going on over to our Discord and go into the topic ideas, discussion questions text channel, typing away.
Yeah. And now I believe Lindsay is ready with the trivia question for this episode. Lindsay, what do you have for us today?
Yeah, so this is another one that was sent in to me. I mean, it's making my job easier. And now I'm going to butcher this name completely. Shigeru Miyamoto is the famous Nintendo developer who has helped develop games such as Super Mario Bros., Donkey Kong, Zelda, and Star Fox, just to name a few. What does Nintendo prevent him from doing? Now, this isn't something that's would be covered by an NDA. It's not something super, super secret, but there's something that they prevent him from doing. And I want to know what it is.
I want to know what it is.
This is a fun one.
So not a NDA, not a non-compete type thing.
Yeah, it's not It's
doesn't have anything to do with him giving information to another company.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
I actually have an answer.
I have an answer in mind. I have
no idea.
Yeah, I'm pretty lost right now. But that's normal, so we'll be all right.
Goodness. Shigeru
Yeah.
Miyamoto?
Uh-huh. Yeah, sure.
Shigeru Miyamoto. Goodness. Well, that is a phenomenal question that you have for us today, Lindsay. If you guys at home want to think about that question, we'll come back to it at the end of the episode. We will give our embarrassingly terrible answers, and then we will hear the correct answer.
Yeah. All right. So today, as you can see, and I introduced, we have Santa back. We're going to be talking about one of his favorite gaming franchise, Call of Duty. I know last time whenever we had him on, we kind of talked about Call of Duty in there, but then we're like, we'll just make an episode on this. Mm-hmm. So that's what we're going to be doing today.
Yes, sir.
So, I mean, there's many different ways that we can kind of go with this. But I guess to kind of start it off was what was everyone's first Call of Duty?
Ooh.
I'll go ahead and give mine just to get it out of the way. My first one was Call of Duty 2 for the PlayStation 2 back in the day. and it was really solid. It was my first like first person shooter war game. And I think it was either that one or Call of Duty 3 that was my first experience with multiplayer on console. And it was insane. Absolutely insane. What about you guys?
My very first one is Call of Duty 4, the original Modern Warfare.
Ooh.
Yeah, I didn't get to the pleasure of getting to play COD 2 or COD 3. That Call of Duty 4, I remember the year that it released. I swear to you, everybody in the entire like North America got it for Christmas.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I really don't even think that people were aware of how good that game was going to be to even like pre-order it, to buy it in like November when it released. But it was like the number one Christmas present that year for sure.
Oh yeah.
I received it for Christmas and I fell in love. Like, it's such an amazing game. It was so realistic. But what was your first one, Lindsay? Did you play?
Not until I met Nick, I'm pretty sure.
So if that was the case, then her first one was Call of Duty Ghosts.
Ooh, okay.
Which,
Yeah, that's a special one to come in on.
having never played one before, I was like, okay.
You probably enjoyed it, you know? Yeah,
But Black Ops 3's been my favorite. But I mean, I guess that's another topic, another question.
Yeah.
Forget I said that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess it was Ghost.
And that one was in 2013 when that came out.
Yeah, because I've mentioned several times over the other 47 episodes, my gaming career didn't start till later in life.
No, I want to, with mine, my first one, I had to be honest. I had to go back and try to like look at the list. I'm actually looking at the list right now because I didn't start out with Call of Duty. I started out with Medal of Honor, if you remember those games. And I think it was like I think it was a game. I think it was Frontline or whatever. That could have been my first one. Which that one actually came out before the very first Call of Duty. So, but then whenever, I think it was the first Modern Warfare, the original one, I think that was the first Call of Duty that I actually ever played. But before, I was all about Medal of Honor. Like, I just enjoyed, like, the history and stuff, and I don't think I ever went back to the older Call of Duties, the 3 before Modern Warfare, to play any of them. So.
No, I hear that. I never dove back in the old ones either.
So, but yeah, like my first one was the original Modern Warfare, and I remember getting that on the Xbox 360, not PlayStation. I had that one on Xbox.
Me too.
Later, I switched to PlayStation.
I switched to PlayStation during the PlayStation 3.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely had the 360. Wait, did the PlayStation 3 come out at the same time the Xbox One came out?
No, the Xbox One was with PlayStation 4.
No, 2. Oh yeah, Xbox
or
One.
You mean the first Xbox or Xbox One?
The original Xbox.
The original Xbox came with
the PS2.
PlayStation 2.
PlayStation 2, and then the 360 and the PlayStation 3.
Yeah.
Okay, so somewhere between me owning the 360 and getting a PS4, I snagged a PS3 somewhere because I had a PS3 and I don't remember why I switched or when I switched, but I think it had something to do with PlayStation being the only platform that offered the free online.
Yeah, PS3 did have the free online play.
That's probably why I switched to PlayStation back then. But I remember playing World at War on the PlayStation and not on the Xbox.
I think I had World at War on the Xbox.
Was so good.
I didn't like it as much. I want to be honest.
You didn't like World at War as much?
Yeah, I didn't like that one as much. But I was mostly comparing this to, I think, Story.
Oh, okay. You're doing the campaigns comparison.
I was doing the
That's fair.
I don't even know if I played much of the online during the World
COD 4's campaign's insane. Probably one of the best campaigns that's like ever been created.
Yes.
It was an incredible campaign.
Hmm.
Um,
World at War had a very solid campaign, but still.
I think that the Infinity Ward games all around do better when it comes to the campaigns. The Treyarch games fall off a little bit, even though Cold War's campaign was probably like one of the first Treyarch campaigns that's like really rememberable because of how different it was. But they threw in a lot of extra stuff. Like it almost felt like you were playing Hitman while you're going through that campaign. It didn't feel like a Call of Duty campaign, which is probably a good thing, really, for them. But I had fun playing the newest Cold War's campaign was actually really really good. I enjoyed it, but
Nick and Lindsay, did you
Mhm.
guys play through that campaign? I know you guys had played a little bit of that game, right? No?
No, see,
Talked about it.
whenever that one came out, there was the beta, and we downloaded the beta like during the free weekend or something, and all it was
Cold War?
Cold War.
I want to play the campaign.
And all it was the online, and playing the
it's
online
really
just kind of brought back, just like some rage from playing Call of Duty. So, but no, we have not played that one. I know Lindsay, like she said, she really wants to play.
I
Play
want
it.
to play the campaign, but I
highly
don't want to pay
recommend.
$50 to play the campaign
Yeah,
Heard, understand.
because
So, if you don't own a copy of the game, it is not worth buying it to play the
Yeah.
campaign one.
yeah. I mean, honestly,
Uh,
if Redbox, like the one, if you go to like Walmart
Yeah,
or
if you
CVS,
can rent
if
the game somewhere
if
for
they
$1,
if they still had games in there, I know they took them
Is that-
away.
Oh.
Because I know I've done that before, where I've rented a game just to play like short campaign and return it like the next day.
yeah,
So
that would be. I think that the campaign was very good. It's worth the playthrough, but it's not worth buying the game just for the
Yeah.
playthrough. Like,
now, what with you talking about the campaign and it being really good, what are like maybe like your top 3 campaigns from the Call of Duty?
ooh, well, COD 4 is definitely on there, and because of how original Cold Wars is, I could probably add that one to it, and then it would just be filling in the third. But it was very different, the Cold War campaign. Trying to think of
For
I
me,
didn't play the futuristic campaigns.
I know I did,
Like
but I don't
Advanced
remember any of them.
Warfare, and I didn't play Advanced Warfare's campaign or Infinite Warfare's campaign. I don't even think I played Black Ops 3's campaign. Um, I know I did all the MWs. I'd probably say MW3 being the third spot for the campaign.
It was a solid one.
Yeah. Hmm.
MW3
That was
an
what,
incredible
Return
game.
of Price and everything, right? Or was that 2?
Um, I won't be able to tell you that. I'm so bad at following along with the
Yeah,
storyline. I just they like them. Plus, I've played so many of them, they all mesh together.
makes sense.
Um,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to tell you when Price came back. I probably should be able to, but I don't think I can. um,
I always
yeah,
thought that was just a really cool story arc that they did with him getting out of the gulag and everything. Spoiler alert.
I'm sure most people played that. I would imagine most people played it.
I'm like looking at the list and I'm just trying to think of like each of the campaigns.
There's only one I actually played. I think I started Black Ops 3, but I never actually finished it.
Did you not do Advanced Warfare? I know that was the one that we did get, because I remember us getting both of these, and I remember I did the story on that.
Did I
you
have
not?
that one too?
Yeah, because we.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I don't think I finished it. The only campaign I actually finished was World War II.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
Which I like the history part of it. Like I've always liked history. That's why I'm interested in the Cold War campaign.
Cold War was dope.
Which
That was a good
and
campaign.
I haven't played,
So this is
a lot
just
of
a
them.
dumb question I have, but so World at War, I don't know if you guys remember the campaign, but during the Japanese part of the campaign at the very end,
Mm-hmm.
there's actually a decision you can make that they don't really tell you about, but there's two endings for the Japanese campaign.
Okay.
Do they do that in future games?
Oh,
Because
No
there's a
idea.
dude who like is supposed to get killed. He gets like bayoneted, but you can save him, and then
and
you
there's
get a
all
slightly alternate ending.
okay.
Um,
I didn't know that.
but I don't
Not
know if that changes.
not off the top of my head that I can remember.
Gotcha. Yeah, because I had never seen another one like that, but I have only done a few campaigns after World at War. Like I did a few of I think I did all of Modern Warfare, like 1, 2, and 3. Did the first 2 Black Ops, and I think that might have been it in terms of campaigns after that point that I had done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't remember playing the Black Ops 3 campaign at all.
I know I
Yeah,
did
I didn't
that
play
one.
Black Ops 3.
I don't remember playing that campaign. I know I did 1 and 2. Black Ops 1 and 2, I definitely played through those campaigns.
I mean, I know
I
I
really
did.
enjoyed the Black Ops 1 campaign mostly because of the return of Reznov.
Yeah.
Return.
Yeah, dude.
For me, I'm just having trouble trying to remember what all I did in the campaigns. Like, I feel like I can
They all
remember.
merge together.
Yeah,
There's just so many. There's a new game every year.
yeah,
And if you played every single one of them, how do you remember? Like, I mean, I
yeah.
don't know.
I can
It's just
remember
so
certain missions that are memorable.
Certain missions and certain story arcs are
one of the
easier
best
to
missions
remember.
of all is
Like,
the sniper mission from the original
yeah,
COD,
yeah,
100%.
where
remember
he's got the
that
big
one.
and you're up on top of the building and you got to snipe it. Like, it's just such a good mission. It's
Yeah,
so good.
I know on that mission what
All gillied up. What was it?
Yeah, it's probably called All
All
Gillied.
gillied up.
Wait, what was the mission where it wasn't that same one where you actually have to go and you have that high powerful like sniper or whatever and you're going to shoot the guy and the game purposely has you miss, like you hit his shoulder or something, which
you blast his arm off.
I was so upset because I knew when I was a kid I was like, no, I had it dead on where I was going to hit his head. I was so upset.
I think that was All gillied up because you go through all of Chernobyl and then you get up in the tower and then you have to snipe the guy.
Okay.
It's like an old apartment building.
Mm-hmm. That was such a good mission.
Yeah, but then one of the main missions that I remember was, and I'm pretty sure it was Modern Warfare 2 if I can remember correctly. But the beginning, before you start the game, it said like it gives you the warning, be like some things may be like too sensitive to some people. Do you want to turn that off? And I was like, no. And then I go in, and I think it's like the second mission or something, where you are walking into an airport, and then you're just killing.
No Russian.
Yes,
that's MW2. That's MW2 where they're getting mowed down. Yeah,
and I was just like,
crazy.
I don't feel comfortable doing this. I don't
No,
feel
they got
comfortable
a lot
at
of-
all.
They actually took a lot of a negative attention from that whole scene because it's just a straight massacre. It's literally a mass murdering like of innocent people inside of an airport. Like it's a pretty ridiculous scene to be added to a game. But back then it didn't really matter, man. The world wasn't near as sensitive as they are now. But they've recently like gotten a lot of
I mean, at least they give you a warning before starting a game. It's like, hey, we're warning you, there's something that is going to be sensitive to most people. Do you want to go through this? So
true. Yeah. I guess they held up their end of the deal there, I guess.
But yeah, like those are missions that I specifically remember. And if you ask me with like some of the games after that, like I remember I played Black Ops, the first one. I went to get the midnight release. I was in college and I stayed up all night and I played through that whole campaign. I can't tell you a single thing in that campaign. Except I think there was sand at some point. Like I was in a desert or something. I don't know. But I don't remember anything from the first Black Ops.
So fun thing about the first Black Ops, in the title screen, you were like all strapped to a chair. if you could pull, I think it was both triggers, you got out of the chair and you could go play an arcade game in the main menu
I
of the
remember
game.
that.
That's
It
Mhm.
was
cool.
like a top-down zombies game. It was really
Remember.
fun.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
cool.
I definitely remember that. There was
Mhm.
another. Was it the same game where they had like the arcade version of the airplane? Was that the same game, or was that something? That was one of the MWs.
I think that was one of the
That was
MWs.
that was
But
COD
yeah,
4, I
they
think.
liked to sneak little things like that in, and I always loved finding them.
Arcade. It was called arcade mode, and it was like a little simulator where you were on an airplane, and you had to go through and basically like take out all the terrorists on the airplane.
Do they still do those little like Easter egg
Every
type
game.
things in their
I
games?
don't. Not that I know of. I haven't heard of one since. I guess probably Black Ops 1.
I feel like there's probably some way to, in at least one mission in every game, get the laser pistol. Because I know they've added that in a few games, but other than that, I can't confirm any other Easter eggs. I just know they like to put the laser pistol in places.
Yeah, I don't think I really knew much about any of the Easter eggs. I didn't know that about the Black Ops where you could like get out and go play arcade.
Hmm
It's really cool. And I know I never played the second Black Ops, and I don't really know why.
You didn't play Black Ops 2?
No, I don't think
That
I
was a
played
good one.
anything about that. I mean, I know I was still in college.
The problem is I got to a point with those games where like I was so focused on the multiplayer
Mhm.
that like after that first run through of the campaign, like I didn't think about it again. I was never really huge into zombies. I definitely dabbled in the zombies a little bit, but I
Yeah, I
was
never mess with
a
zombies that
multiplayer
much.
grinder, man. Like I mean, it was all about being able to shoot people that were actually playing. Like
Yeah,
killing AI just doesn't do the same thing for me as shooting somebody that's actually holding a controller.
yeah. And I
Um,
was also never big into zombies. I know there was one of the games where I did play it more so than any other one. Though I think they make zombies much harder now than they did back then. But I enjoyed more of the what they had for like Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3, the like little arcade type mission things that you could go through and do. I can't remember what all they are. I think mostly the I know the third one. It had like a wave system that you had like waves coming in and you had to kill them. I know I did that a lot with some friends, but I'm pretty sure the second one, um, Modern Warfare 2, it had different like missions that you can do. I know there was a sniping one in there that a friend and I did, and we did it so much that we knew.
MW2 is the one where they added Spec Ops, right?
Yeah,
Is-
the Spec Op missions where you had all like
Yeah,
there was the campaign, multiplayer, and then Spec
yeah,
Ops.
yeah. The Spec Ops that
That was
was the
the
thing
first
that I
year that they
enjoyed.
did it. Yeah, yeah. Those Spec Ops missions were pretty fun.
Yeah,
That was like what the Treyarch games did the zombies, and then Infinity Ward did the Spec Ops.
Mm-hmm.
Spec
And
Ops was really
they
cool
straight
because there were
up-
like leaderboards, so you could see how good you did against all the other
Yeah,
people.
yeah. That was a thing that I much preferred over zombies. And I know people
Yeah, I
would
think
get on to me and are like, "How do you not like zombies?" It's like, look, zombies is just not my thing.
Well, you don't like zombies in
Yeah, I just don't like
any
zombies in
game,
general.
So
Yeah,
there's just no satisfaction with killing something that's not holding a gun and is just like a zombie's just walking at you,
yeah,
dead already. You're just
sprinting.
killing it again.
hmm
Like I don't, I completely understand not getting satisfaction out of playing a long game of zombies. They get so drawn out and they last hours of time, and you really don't accomplish anything. There's no winning. You're not gonna win. There's no winning.
yeah,
What level can you get to?
Yeah,
Like,
which
yeah,
like still like I don't know. It's bragging rights at that point, and I mean, cool. You got good at running in a circle and shooting things that aren't shooting back.
yeah,
Come 1v1 me. Let's see what happens then. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, wow, you're cracked at shooting zombies in the head. Good for you.
yeah.
Anybody
exactly.
could do that if you put the time into it. Literally anyone.
Yeah, I
But
feel like it's a lot of routing. Like you have to route the zombies a certain way in most of those. Now, I will say some of the zombie modes that I've seen people play that seem very complex, where you have to get on like a bus or a train and go to like this next, like you're actually moving locations and having to solve like puzzles and stuff. Like they've made some intricate ones, but I ain't about that either.
Yeah, I know. Like I was saying, that I feel like they made them a little bit harder because I know there was. I can't remember which game it was, but they actually had like actors to come in and portray certain characters that you can play in zombies,
Oh
and one of
yeah.
them was David Tennant, and I was like, oh heck yeah, I want to go and I want to play that so I can play as David Tennant.
I didn't know David Tennant was in it. That's
I
cool.
I think I did it twice and I died very very quickly and I was like, yeah, no, I'm done. I was like, man, this seems like a lot harder than what it was back in what like the first Black Ops or something that I played zombies. I was like, yeah, this is much more difficult. I'm not about this. So
I think was the first zombies in World at War?
I feel like
Like
yes,
from
yeah.
Nacht der Toten or whatever, the
yeah,
like German bunker.
yes. That was one of the ones that I actually put a lot of time into.
Yeah, that's the
But
only
because
zombies I put time into.
it was just so new. Um, it was just so new.
Maybe it
Hmm.
was that one that I did. I can't remember which one I did. I know there was one friends and I we tried to do and I don't know how far we got, but it was not far enough.
Yeah. What game was Shangri-La? Y'all remember that one? That map? Shangri-La. It was like it felt like it took place in like some sort of Aztec city in the middle of like the rainforest or something. I don't know. It was crazy. Um but that one I
Was
can't
that one
remember.
of the ones where you had
Name.
exosuits? I feel like that was one of the exosuit games.
I don't
Or maybe I'm just remembering a jungle map that was in one of those
Black Ops and
games.
also Black Ops 3
Okay.
for the
Shangri-La
Shangri-La.
was in Black Ops and Black Ops 3?
Yeah, a map featured in Black Ops, Call of Duty Black Ops and Black Ops 3.
Huh.
Nice. Nice.
Is the zombie map.
Yeah, it's Shangri-La.
Oh,
I remember
zombie
that.
map. That's why I don't know it.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Yeah, it was a zombie map, for
Gotcha.
sure. I wanted to ask you guys earlier, what y'all's favorite ARs were from any of the multiplayer sides
Oh, I
of
got
any
you.
of them.
I got you. I know
You
this.
got, I know
um,
this one.
it was in Modern Warfare 2. It was the M16, the triple burst.
Okay.
I always ran that because let's see. I had that on, and I had. Hold on. I also pulled up the perks, so I can remember the perks I had. I always ran that with a stinger, so anytime I would hear enemy UAV or care package, I pull that stinger out and I shoot it down. Um,
Yeah, I think that we touched on this
yeah.
this
But
time. I
then
remember you saying
the perks that I had with it was the marathon where I could just run because I was a run and gun person.
run
Stopping
forever.
stopping power where it increased the bullet damage, and that was part of the
Hmm.
reason why I had the M16 with the triple burst because I normally can like hit
Oh,
them
one
once with
shot, one
it.
person.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then my third tier I think was for the last perk was last stand. So if I got knocked, I'd pull out the pistol and still could kill them.
You still get a kill.
So yeah, that was what I ran. Sometimes I ran the small that pistol that was also a triple burst. Um, just so I could have the M16 and that. But
Okay.
most of the time it was the M16 and the Stinger.
From
That
MW2, huh?
yeah.
The MW COD 4's original MW, the M16 from that game was pretty insane as well. Pre-nerf. I said burf. What's a burf? Pre-burf, buff and nerf mixed together. Pre-nerf, yeah, it was an animal. That gun was insane. Um, but my favorite AR is probably the ACR from MW3. Um, and then behind that might be the Ram 7 from the newest MW. I really like that gun. I don't know why I like that gun so much, but I do. But yeah, the ACR MW3, I used to run that with the LMG on my back. So I literally didn't ever have to stop shooting. If I needed to continue to shoot, I had the ACR, which would reload quick, and then I had the LMG, which had 150 rounds. So like I could just sit there and shoot at you. It was like a 60 round mag with the extended mag on the ACR, and then like 150 on the LMG. So like I had over 200 bullets that I never had to really reload. Like I
A
could
wall of lead.
Jeez.
it was so much fun though. Like I didn't ever have to worry about it. You just switch from one AR to the LMG and then back. And let me see. It was like a thermal sight that we threw on the L86 on MW3, and it made the thing a laser beam. It had zero recoil to the point where like it was pretty much broken. Let me see, L86.
I was always a fan of the Scars, just because I'm an FN fanboy.
The Scar,
Yeah.
Scar was a great gun though.
I liked sniping, so that like whenever I chose an AR, I would go for the Scars.
Yeah.
I'm just trying
Look
to
at that.
think of.
Sniping was definitely my go-to. But during MW3, when specialist was a real thing, where you could like achieve a specialist bonus and essentially run around with all of the perks.
Yeah.
Um, this okay, I found a picture of the gun with the sight on it. Let me see if I can send this to you.
Just I don't know Call of Duty guns. I never.
Yeah.
I would just find one that I
You
liked
came
and
into
I'd
the
just
series
use it.
late. You came into the series late too.
Yeah.
Ghost is like way down
Yeah.
the line.
Well, we
to
didn't
be
play.
like-
We didn't play that one that much.
No,
Like
if
I got it on
you-
sale, and I went over to her house and we were playing it some. She's like, "Oh, I like this," and I'm like, "Yeah, it's
no point of reference.
But I mean,
I
But-
DM'd you a picture of the L86 with that thermal sight on it, back in the day, and it was just insane. Just so you could see what the gun looked like. It looked ridiculous with this big scope, like almost like a sniper scope on top of it, but it's an LMG. Yeah, pretty absurd. I miss those days, man.
yeah,
I really do. I really miss the days of grinding Call of Duty games. Cold War just did not do it for me.
Mhm.
Not at all.
Now, if you asked me about my Apex gun, I could actually give you an answer.
no,
Call of Duty, I just
yeah, like
What
I,
I
well, you go
found
301? You a 301 girl?
that's me.
no Spitfire.
Nick's a 301 girl.
Yeah, I'm a 301 girl. I mean,
No.
I even pulled up the weapons for her for like Black Ops 3 because that was the one that we probably played the most. Call of
See,
Duty.
I don't remember
And
the weapons at all. I would
don't
just
remember-
find
yeah.
one that I liked. If I liked how it shot, I'd use it. I don't even know names. I don't.
Like I'm looking at it, and yeah, I don't even remember the names of some of these.
I don't even remember the perks I used. Nothing. I just know that I really liked Black Ops 3. I liked the maps on that one.
Black Ops 3 was amazing.
Ooh,
though.
I didn't even
Map.
think about maps. Like,
We're
yeah, we
really
should talk
good.
about maps. Like,
I'm just saying, if it was a gun that I liked in real life, I probably used it, even if it was terrible in the game. I was like, you know what? I like the M14. I'm gonna use it.
Well, M14s for the most part were really
They're
good.
usually
guns.
pretty good in the game.
They're-
Usually pretty good in the
They're
game.
usually pretty decent. The M14 from MW3 was the best M14 on any of them.
The EBR, right?
No, it was the M14 on.
Oh, they just straight up M14.
Mm-hmm. It was not an EBR.
Wow.
MW3s. Let me see. MW3s. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Wow.
It's
That's
there. The
amazing.
MK14. That's what it was called.
MK14.
But it was an M14. But it was. I definitely dropped many Moabs with that thing. It was nasty. Do y'all remember the map Interchange from MW3? Since we're on that game, Interchange was the map that was essentially like highways that were bridges that had broken off, and it was like all above. You couldn't get up on the bridges on the highways and stuff. It was
Just a bunch of
essentially
junk and
it was
crap.
all underneath the bridges, and it was a really long, narrow map. It wasn't very
Yeah.
wide.
I mean, I pulled up the map. Well, I mean, it's just showing me like the blueprints
The
basically.
layout.
I'm not
Okay.
remember. And gosh, yeah, no, just give me.
All right. Well, anyways, there is. Let me pull it up too, so I can probably explain it to you better.
The map was chaos.
Um.
Beautiful chaos.
Well, there's a spot where you could lay down with a sniper rifle on that map, to watch one lane of their spawn. And I can't tell you how many times I laid down in that spot with a Barrett 50 cal and the L86 with that thermal sight, and I would just lay prone and watch one little lane, and anybody coming through that lane was getting mowed down by a Barrett 50 cal one-shotting them, or the LMG just spraying them down. The LMG was more or less as if multiple people were pushing at once. But that
Right,
Barrett
yeah.
50 cal, dude, I mean, I can't tell you the ridiculous kill streaks that I went on laying down in one little spot. That, and then the map Terminal, which was originally an MW2 map, but they redid it and brought it back to MW3. And I want to say that they redid it and brought it back for another COD. But Terminal was the one that was like in the airport where we were talking about that scene where everybody's getting mowed down. That was in Terminal.
Yeah.
Terminal. Yeah, I remember Terminal. I still like.
The
I even
strats on
looked
that
up this
map.
Interchange. I still don't remember this map.
Really?
Yeah, I'm looking at him like for some reason I'm just not remembering anything about this map.
Well, it exists.
No. I mean, like, yeah, I see it. Like,
Let me
but
see. Let me see here.
I always loved chucking a grenade right up in the
gonna
back of the
send you-
plane because
I'm gonna
someone
send
would
you-
always be camping back there.
I'm trying to explain it to you, I guess. All right, so if you see that image that I just sent you,
I have to pull it up on my phone or I'll mess up the whole viewing thing.
oh
Yeah,
really?
yeah, like because of how I have it up over here.
I got you. You're good. I was just trying to explain
Yeah, I'm looking
where
at
that
it.
position was. All right, so in the top, or so like on the far right side of the map that you see there,
Yeah.
well, that corner where it's like dark or whatever, that was one of the main spawn points, which there was a domination flag that was right there.
Mm-hmm.
And then dead center of the map, there's like those little dotted lines right there. There was another flag right there in the dead center, and then on the far opposite corner, there was another flag
Mm-hmm.
for domination. So if you had the flag on the far left and you had the flag in the dead center, all you really had to do was watch the far right side of their spawn and then the far left side of their spawn. And that left side, you can see that there's like a little thin hallway that's like connected to their spawn point.
Yeah.
But there was like a barrel over there that you could just lay down behind and watch that one little narrow corridor hallway. And they were basically trapped. They don't create maps like that anymore on Call of Duty games. They like go out of their way to not allow a map to be a 3-lane map. And that's like a perfect definition of a 3-lane map. Both spawn points, like original spawn points, have 3 ways to get to your middle point of the map, and it basically mimics itself on both sides. But they go out of their way to not allow that to be a thing anymore. They don't want spawn trapping to exist, which is what Call of Duty was for years. It was spawn trapping.
Yeah.
It was like people got in parties together, they communicated, and they would sit there and spawn trap people. And then
And that's what make people quit the game.
Well, but it's also what made a lot of people love the game.
Yeah,
When they started changing it, people quit the game because, like, why are you going away from your roots? This is a arena shooter with lanes. Like, it's not supposed to feel like a BR in an arena shooter. You're not supposed to always be curious about where you're supposed to be able to learn the map and manipulate the spawn points. And that's what we did.
Mhm.
And then they got to the point where like if you push too far, people are gonna start spawning behind you. Back in Black Ops 1, that's not how it was. You could literally stand at a spawn point and they would continue to spawn in front of you. And you could just shoot them as they spawned in. Especially in like the demolition game modes, which were like the hardcore spawn traps. Demolition was a whole nother level. It's completely different from domination or team deathmatch, and they legitimately were stuck in their spawn. I don't know if you've ever gone back and watched demolition spawn traps from Black Ops 1 days, but there was a map called Havana or whatever, however you want to call it. Look up a video of that from back in the day, from Black Ops 1. Spawn trapping demolition on Havana, and you'll see people putting up 300, 400 kills in a game. And these games last 15 to 20 minutes long.
I would be so irritated.
I mean, I remember
How do you
actually it
die?
happening to me where
Spawning in,
where I would get
murdered.
spawned in and just immediately die, and I'm like, what? I can't do anything.
Yeah, it's definitely that we were the ones that were doing that to people though. It was fun.
Yeah, and I mean, there's actually from back when I started with Call of Duty 2 and Call of Duty 3, they had an initial time where they went away from that, especially in Call of Duty 3, where they added a lot of vehicles and stuff. So they had tanks and things in a lot of the multiplayer games in these huge maps. Well, relatively huge to the time, but they had this like big farm map where multiple tanks, and you had two different bases. But it wasn't that like arena fighter that it kind of was in 2, and then they cut it off. There were no more like tanks, no more motorcycles, stuff like that. And I remember because me and this clan that I rolled with, we just like loved to abuse that stuff. We would take motorcycles and drive them up to the edge of the map, hop off, and get outside the map and like cheat. We would be cheating 100%. And then they took away all the vehicles in the next few games, and I think they might have brought them back later on, but I haven't played a Call of Duty with vehicles in multiplayer for a long time. But yeah, I think it was 3. They kind of went really far out of their way to kind of go almost Battlefield like, and then they just stopped. And my little dumb preteen brain was like, well, I want the vehicles back. I didn't understand that the game was an arena shooter. You had lanes, but looking back at all of the maps, especially the old maps where you literally just had these lanes, that's what it is. And it's cool to look back and kind of see that progression, and then they're like, wait, no, let's go back. But now, as you've said, they've gotten into more of it's not like that anymore. It's a little bit more open, or sometimes it's super compact, like Shipment, which I personally love Shipment.
Well, Shipment's an original map too, and it can be categorized into the 3-lane map just because it's so tiny.
Yeah.
And you can manipulate spawns on that map. You can 100% manipulate the spawns and like learn spawn positioning. My clan leader from back in the day used to call it spawn tricking. Essentially, like you'd find a spot where you can watch this spawn point and then this spawn point, and you'd bounce back and forth, focusing on 2 little areas, and then you would have other people in different areas doing the same thing. But he would call it spawn tricking because like you're watching a spawn point, killing people, and then to trick that spawn point, you got to turn and look somewhere else. And then they would spawn there again. You can't just be sitting there staring right at a spawn point and like have them continuously do that. So like he would trick it. He would be like, look this way, and then he'd look back and they'd be right back there spawning in.
Maybe that's why I would get unlucky where I would kill somebody and I just would look away and go somewhere else, and then I would just die directly like from where I was just looking. Like someone just spawned in and was like, oh hey, there's a person there, and kill me. Because I always feel like I had like the terrible luck in the games of I would look one way, no one's there, and then I'm looking the other way, no one's there, and I'm going that way, and then I die from behind.
The way you just look.
Yeah.
That's called COD timing at its finest right there. COD timing. There's only so much you can do, man. It's definitely pretty pretty frustrating to deal with that situation, but I can't tell you how many times it's happened to me. I'm sitting there staring at a point, like I know they're coming, I know they're coming, I know they're coming. It's like finally you're like, no, they're not. And then we looked over here and then they come that way. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Every time.
Mhm.
Every time. But
yeah, I love
I could never decide if I wanted to like camp down in a place and like hold corners or if I wanted to run and gun. Because if you're running and gunning, if you run fast enough, no one can keep up with you. So you can't get shot from behind.
No, I still did.
No, my problem is I would be camping and then I'd be like, okay, it's time to move, and as soon as I move, I die.
Yeah.
But I loved the Black Ops 3 maps. And I think my favorite was on the DLC. It was it was called Splash, but it was a water park.
yes.
I loved it.
Oh,
You could get in the like the tunnel or the
We're going in pink.
like yeah.
There was one tunnel that was pink, and we would just call it that. We'd be like, all right, I'm going in pink.
Yeah.
Yep.
The like the water slide. I love that map.
See it.
I did not like Nuketown.
Yeah, Nuketown's just one of
it's
the
a
ones where
classic.
it's a classic, and they just keep bringing it
Yeah.
back.
But
Again, kind of laneish. Kind of laneish. It was mostly like the two outside lanes and then basically snipers in the middle, just
it was
sniping at each other.
it was so much smaller.
Yeah, it's a very
didn't-
small
I
map.
didn't like it. I didn't like, and I don't know if is it the same on all of the games. I did not
The
like
shape
it.
is similar.
But the
the larger-
aesthetics is different.
Yeah.
But the largest one was in Black Ops 3 where we had the exo packs. They made that map larger. Nuketown on BO3 was larger than Nuketown.
Wow. And
Oh,
I
it
hated
should've
how
been.
small it was on Black Ops 3. I wouldn't
Yeah.
have liked it on the other ones.
It was smaller on the other ones.
And I loved
I think one of the more recent remakes of Nuketown, they have it like recreated in a warehouse or something.
Oh my goodness.
Ah.
Just put up Splash. Look at this. This map was a lot of fun though. This whole
Right?
game was so good.
And
I wish they would redo it.
the
or, like,
guy,
just make-
because that one the people had different abilities, right?
Yes.
I like that, and I would like the guy you could place down like the hive.
The
like,
hive thing where, yeah.
And it would like
Yeah.
they walk by and it would just attack him.
Yeah. What was that dude's name?
Ugh,
Huh.
Black Ops 3
that's a whole nother thing to Google.
characters.
Okay.
I
I remember the scythe. I used to use the scythe a lot because I was good with it. And then I remember the Ripper, which was the dude that had the blade that come out of his arm, or he could go invisible. I remember the War Machine chick, Battery, Nomad. No, was it Nomad? I think it was Nomad's the name of the dude with the hive.
Yes. No, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, and I like that because it was like, I mean, even though it had like, they did the good job with the exosuits with that game compared to the others, but that just had different characters that had a few different abilities, which whenever I first played it, I was like, oh, this is dumb. This is like, not the same. But then later I was like, I really enjoyed this.
It was so good.
Yeah.
Dude. It was so good. The Seraph. I used to run the Seraph pretty good bit. With that hand cannon pistol, and then I ran the Reaper a pretty good bit. I was never big into the Spectre thing. Was the Prophet's the one where you could like teleport backwards?
Yeah, to rewind and
Like
teleport.
it's called glitching or whatever. It's
Yeah.
called
Yeah.
glitch.
Yeah.
Oh man, dude, I miss playing this game.
I know. This makes me want to go play it.
The Shiva from Black Ops 3. The Shiva was the semi-automatic. It was like the M14 of Black Ops 3. But that gun right there, man. I have a Ace on Search and Destroy on Nuketown using the Shiva actually. And I think it's still on YouTube.
Heck,
I got the 6-man Ace with the Shiva. It was so satisfying.
When you first said ace there, Nick perked
I
up
was
real
like,
quick.
what?
Yeah, I got you, bro. I got that ace. Got that ace, man. It's crazy that you can remember specific like moments that of clutch situations that you had.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I ever had any moments like that in multiplayer.
I
Not true multiplayer. Like I styled on my friends a lot, but that's it. You know?
I definitely used to be better than I am these days, but I'm still pretty cracked at shooter games.
I think one of my favorite things that I did was in Modern Warfare 2, and it was on the map High Rise. And it was getting on top
That's
of the
the
building.
The
It was the rooftop where the helicopter is like in the middle. Was getting on like my favorite thing was getting on top of the building and like doing it like where the other team just didn't notice that you were going there because you have to like go out onto the crane and then make some jumps and then eventually like climb up there and be like outside of the map.
yeah.
I enjoyed doing that, and I think I got like one of my highest kill streaks doing that. And I remember one of the times where I think I got this was the total opposite. It was where I just probably raged the most, and it was in MW2, and it was on Wasteland. And you know how I've said that I'm a run and gun person? Well, Wasteland is a good map for sniping, and that's what people kept doing, and I had no idea where they were, but they kept killing me. And I was getting frustrated. I was like, I don't know where they're at, and I keep dying.
Wasteland.
Yeah.
Wasteland, it was that one where it had like an underground bunker thing like in the center, but people would just stay on the edge of the map around where there was like high grass and they would just snipe.
I see it. Yeah, I remember this map.
I just remember getting so frustrated. I'm like, I don't know where they're at and I keep dying.
So what's up, guys? We about to go run some Warzone as a squad of 4 after this? Huh? I'm ready to play some Call of Duty.
Well, I don't have the game downloaded.
Oh,
I
Lord.
own the game, but don't have it downloaded.
I hear that. Maybe next year's game will be better. Cold War's campaign was the best thing about that game.
Let's see, the next one coming out, made by Sledgehammer, who also did...
No. You serious?
Oh, no, no, hold on. On this thing, it's speculated. It's not confirmed, but it's speculated.
No, I thought that...
I heard down the grapevine that it's over. The Sledgehammer no longer is a part of...
Well, then maybe this isn't updated then. I don't know, it's just showing speculated, and it's another World War II.
Making the next game, we got another year of MW's Warzone ahead of us.
Yeah.
Sledgehammer, they suck.
The last one they did was World War II, and it's speculated with that it's another World War II game, and I'm like, come on.
Sledgehammer, they don't know what the hell they're doing. I don't even know why they got added onto the list of people to create these games. They're lost. Sledgehammer's lost. Somebody's getting paid and doesn't deserve it.
Yeah, which games were made by Sledgehammer?
Okay, so Sledgehammer made Advanced Warfare.
Advanced Warfare is their very first
one.
Their first one. It's probably my least favorite Call of Duty out of all.
World War II.
And then it was like the year after that, Black Ops 3 came out, and they showed them how to do the exosuit.
Yeah, because Treyarch can make Call of Duty games.
And then Infinity Ward came after that with Infinite Warfare, and they just sucked that up. And then after that, it was World War II with Sledgehammer.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so they made like the two worst Call of Duty.
Worst Call of Duty ever.
Okay.
I don't know. Black Ops 4 was pretty bad because that was just a crap show of a battle royale.
I didn't hate Blackout, dude. I did not hate Blackout. I didn't play a lot of Black Ops 4's multiplayer, but I did play a good bit of Blackout. I didn't hate it. I didn't grind Blackout the way I played Warzone. But I definitely played a good bit of Blackout. I, I don't know.
I know with some of
I was also
the
doing Fortnite days too. I was grinding
Mm.
Fortnite during those days.
I know we had issues with some of the multiplayer with actually just getting in the game because of the
For which
queuing up
one?
with our friends.
Oh yeah, that would just
Black Ops
happen.
We had a lot of issues
Okay.
on World War II with that. And I think we had issues with Black Ops 3 on that as
yeah,
well.
it was just like trying to get together and then get in the game. It's like due to someone's NAT type and all that stuff,
Yeah.
and it's just
Well,
like thing you
I don't know
constantly
if
figure out.
y'all were release players where like you stood in line at midnight to get the game and then you went home and you got online and hoping to have the most amazing first night of playing Call of Duty for that year. But I did that year after year after year, and the first like 48 hours of trying to play multiplayer, anything online, was a complete and total shit show. It just was. It was terrible. The
No.
best thing for you to do was to get home and play the campaign
Yeah.
first. Give it 48 hours so that they can work out all the kinks,
Yeah.
and then dive into multiplayer like 2 or 3 days later. But you didn't want to do that. You wanted to go home and dive right into multiplayer. I was so obsessed with statistics and stuff like that back in the day that I used to start these games up and I would dive into every single multiplayer map, and I would run around and learn them before I ever played on that map
Oh man, that's
with people.
smart. That's smart.
I legitimately would go like figure out them. I would go learn the map every single year. I was so concerned about my kill death ratios and my win loss ratios that I wanted to have the upper hand on whoever like is just starting the game as well. And I used to even hold out on grinding multiplayer in the first couple of weeks. And I would kind of push off till almost Christmas time. And I would take advantage of the Christmas noobs on a yearly basis as like a stat buffer. Because the stats and the numbers meant something to me and they were like bragging rights back then with all your friends and stuff like that. And I would do all sorts of things to manipulate them to make them better. All sorts of things. Like you could back in the day, you could like time yourself out of a game by powering off or like closing the app. Like for the PlayStation 3, you could just close the app on the game. And if as long as you did it before the final kill cam finished, the stats from that game wouldn't count against you.
Oh.
So like your deaths, your kills, your win or your loss, none of it would count. Like you could just it was like you never played the game. Um so yeah, my stats on certain situations and things were kind of manipulated because I knew tricks to make them the way I wanted them. But I was still obsessed with those numbers. I was completely obsessed. Trixie Santa.
Yeah.
Yo, I was obsessed, Bob. I was obsessed. I was obsessed with the numbers, man. I'm very competitive when it comes to shooter games. I'm trying to be less these days. And I remember when we had our first podcast, I talked about the fact that like I was not even dabbling with shooter games being live just because it like negatively affected my channel. And recently I've been trying to get back into some shooters. And CS:GO has been my main focus. But I'm like that's why I started streaming was because of my love for shooter games. That's why SantaSlayz is my name. Like SantaSlayz, the Slays part is because I'm good at shooter games. So I've been trying to get back to my roots a little bit, and hopefully the real ones will stick around. But I think that during the spring and the summer, I might as well do whatever I want when it comes to my channel, and then in the fall and the winter, do everything that everybody else wants me to do. So I don't know. Leaning towards just diving back into the games and going back to my roots, and just trying to enjoy my time live.
Heck yeah.
Um.
Shoot. Now I'll say you were right. I'm getting that Warzone bug.
You want to play, right? Just because we've been talking about it all day.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I'm like thinking about all the cool like custom guns and stuff that I put together. I'm like, yeah, man, that 100 round double drum mag on it. Yeah, that was good.
The Kilo, which is basically your Scar.
Yep, yep.
Yeah.
I mean, that's your gun.
Yeah.
That's your gun. That's your
I-
Scar, man.
I'm over
I
here
had
just,
that and the sniper rifle.
have the itch to play Black Ops 3.
Yeah.
Well, I wish
Especially
I wish I had access to Black Ops 3. I would play it right now. I would love to play that game on keyboard and mouse. Black Ops 3 was the first year I ever got a Scuff controller.
Oh.
Because it was damn near necessary to have one with the jumping and all that.
Oh yeah, dude, that must have made it really
Oh, it was
pretty
Made it real
cool.
easy. Oh.
amazing. Scuff controllers are incredible. I've had a lot of problems with mine over the years. I've gone through about 4 or 5 of them. I have 2 of them right now. Both of them are the Scuff Impact, which has the 4 paddles on the back.
Right.
Mm.
Okay.
Nice. Ooh, I like that.
I have
Is
2.
that a wrap? Black green? I like that.
You get grip choices.
Ooh, so that's an actual
So
choice that they have.
it's like rubber grip, and then you just pick the color or whatever.
That's
But
cool.
yeah, this is
That's
so
nice.
to help your hands from sweating. But I will tell you this: both of them. This one right here, if you can hear it,
Yeah.
Right.
Kind of.
sounds like a mouse clicker.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
These are digital triggers. They're actually act like a mouse clicker. And I
Oh.
bought this controller specifically for Fortnite. Because I know how much a millisecond matters in a build fight.
Mhm.
And when you're having to press a trigger that actually goes all the way down and doesn't click, like it's just those milliseconds of time that it takes to actually interact with that button versus clicking it.
Yeah.
I can build like a keyboard and mouse player with a controller, like super quick.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I bought this controller specifically for Fortnite just because I wanted to be able to have the upper hand on anybody else that I was playing against. But I did play the majority of my Fortnite days on the PS4. So I was matching up against other console players.
Yeah.
Fortnite's a whole different beast on PC. A whole different beast. A whole different beast. But Fortnite's fun, man. I don't know why we just dove into all that talk. We're supposed to be talking about Call of Duty.
Well, I did notice something whenever I was like looking. I can't remember what I was looking for, but I saw something. Was there a certain game mode that you enjoy doing that would just give you a break from like the team death match or the like search and destroy, like the sweaty stuff? Like, was there a game mode that you just did just for fun?
Yeah, Infected.
Yeah.
When it was around, I did play a lot of Infected for fun. Plus, I was really high up on the wins leaderboards, and Infected was an easy way to get wins. I actually used to leave my console on overnight when I was sleeping, and I would queue into Infected lobbies and just be there. And if I woke up in the middle of the night and I realized that I was no longer in a lobby, I would search for another lobby and just be there. I was standing AFK, but the majority of the time, if you're in an infected lobby,
You're gonna win.
You're gonna win.
Yeah.
You're gonna win. You're gonna win the game. So I definitely, yeah, like I said, man, I found tricks to buff stats all the time.
Yeah.
I used to sit there AFK overnight while I was sleeping or doing whatever else and still catching dubs to stay at those points on the leaderboard, the top 10 with thousands of wins. You have to do stuff like that to hold your place because somebody else is going to pass you.
Yeah.
But
I'm trying to remember because I know that we actually played Infected a lot. And I can't remember which game it was that actually had Infected, but we really enjoyed it. And
MW3 was the first game that Infected came out on.
I know it wasn't that one because this was after Lindsay and I
It
were
would have been
together.
after Ghost. Sometime after Ghost.
So I don't know if Advanced Warfare had it or Black Ops 3 had it. I just remember there was a certain map that we would like get on, and there was a specific place that we would always go to. and it was like it was a pipe that you would just kind of go in, and we would just kind of sit there. One person watch one way, and the other person watch the other way. So,
It's bringing back a bunch of memories.
yeah.
Karma.
That reminded me of a map that I used to play multiplayer on, where it was like a construction site. There was a like concrete tube that went through like the middle half of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
You
don't
remember that one?
I don't.
Say that one more time.
There was a Call of Duty map that it was like a construction site, and there was a like
You're talking about
concrete
Hard Hat.
tube. Yeah, I
Hard
think
Hat.
so. Yeah, that was
Come on.
always an exciting map.
They redid that on the newest MW. It was one of the remake maps that came back.
Nice.
But yeah, I played a game of hardcore search and destroy for the first time in like I don't even know years or whatever on that map. Probably about 3 or 4 months ago. And I went like 19-4 or something like that in my first game back.
Yeah.
Just like slayed everyone in hardcore. But yeah, that's Hard Hat, what you're talking about. And they changed that map as well. That map used to have a couple of spots that were like really nice head glitches that you could just sit there the whole entire game and pretty much not get killed. And those spots aren't there anymore.
Gotcha.
But
Yeah, I remember there being some good cheese on those maps. And like having some incredible moments getting stuck in that pipe with just explosions happening on either side and just never being able to leave until like a death squad rolled up and just fired down the hole.
I kind of want to see that from MW3 Hard Hat. Oh no.
I'm trying to
Y'all
remember.
have any other dude any other like crazy classes that have been your favorite over the years? I've already talked about 2 of my favorite classes that I created over the years.
No, a lot of the times, like I know after Modern Warfare 2, I would just kind of go in, just kind of see the guns and see like different perks, and I'm just like, I'll run this, and then I never really went and made many different classes with the different perks and guns and stuff. I just kind of found something that I enjoyed and just kind of stuck with it. And then if I was getting destroyed, I was like, okay, well I have this other one that has just like one other gun. Let's just see if this
So-
gun does better.
All-time favorite perk then? Like one specific perk that you think is just like the best one.
Martyrdom.
Being able to drop the nade when you die? Okay. That's a good perk.
I did always really like that one.
You used to get I got tons of kills using that in COD 4. Tons of kills using Martyrdom.
I do
double-
gotta throw out one of my old like custom classes because me and my friends used to love making troll stuff. We called it the War Turtle, where you put a riot shield on your back and you have akimbo scorpions and you go prone. You just crawl around prone. It was so dumb.
I
Y'all remember
approve of the name.
Those akimbo shotguns from Black Ops 1 that people used to
Oh
run?
yeah.
That looked just absolutely absurd. I mean, they weren't as overpowered as the akimbo models shotguns from MW2. Bob knows the model 1887s from MW2 were super overpowered, but the ones in Black Ops 1 that you could run around holding 2 of them, they were not as overpowered, but they were very, 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 very very lethal, and the way you would run around holding those 2 shotguns was just comical. So anytime you saw people running like through a map or anywhere, you would like laugh out loud watching them run around because they look ridiculous holding those shotguns.
Was it like straight out in front of them, or were they doing like crazy arm movements?
Just crazy arm movements. Just like
Yes.
running around holding shotguns like they're feathers or something. It's just ridiculous arm movements the whole time. I remember it. There's probably videos of people running around with those. That was funny though. I didn't start getting to the competitive side of CODs until MW3, Black Ops 1, MW3 days. Black Ops 1 was the very first game where I really started to dive into the search and destroy game modes.
Mm-hmm.
And then it became like my favorite game mode. And that's when, if you start diving into that side of the things, like you can't do anything but slowly but surely fall into the competitive side of the game. I started watching professional Call of Duty during Black Ops 3. Actually, was my very first time I ever watched like a CWL, or if I ever pulled up and like watched like people doing wager matches through UMGs or GBs and stuff like that. That's back when I found Nick Merckx for the very first time in Black Ops 3. Um, but yeah, I used to love watching the CWL back then. That was like the early days of me discovering Twitch, and it was all focused on watching competitive Call of Duty. Every
Dang.
single bit of it. But
Now, didn't they, in the more recent games, didn't they take out hardcore as
no,
like?
it's
See,
hardcore is still an option.
'Cause
Isn't
I
it
asked-
harder to find?
I asked one person about it. I can't remember which Call of Duty it was, and he was like, "Well, they have it like on rotation where it's not always there." And I was like, "Well, that just seems really dumb if it's not always there." Because
No,
I fell into playing hardcore, and that was the only game mode that I would play because I wouldn't have to unload like a clip and a half to 2 clips into somebody to kill them.
Yeah.
I can actually just get like a headshot and they would die.
there's a bullet to the chest. The
Yeah.
hardcore game, it's a whole nother level.
That's what we always played.
Yeah, I was much better at it because for me, I was better to react. Like I was quicker to react to the person that came across and shoot them before they would shoot me. But if it wasn't hardcore, they had a better chance of shooting me more and doing their jump and prone thing movement where I can't stay on them, but they can stay on me, where I would tend to lose that fight. But when it was hardcore, I just most of the time I would, win the fight. I'd see them first, shoot them, so
Definitely easier to get kills in hardcore. But you also die easier too.
yeah.
I just realized that there's 17 years of Call of Duties being released.
And I think there was
Crazy.
only 1 year
Heck
where
no.
there wasn't one, and that was between the first and the second. It was 2003, then 2005.
2004. Yeah, 2004 is the only year.
Dang.
But there's still 17 games over 18 years.
Mhm.
Daggum.
It's
I didn't know there was that many.
Right,
I think we
dude?
might have mentioned this before. Where I was just like, daggum. Like I can't name.
Started on the fourth game in 2007.
yeah, that's when I started as well. Dang.
So I've only been doing this for 14 years. There were a couple of games that I didn't put near as much time in as to others, but the ones that I did put time into, trust me, I made up for those games that I didn't put time into.
Oh yeah.
Like 60 plus days of gameplay in 1 year. I know I had over 60 days on MW3. I know I had over 60 days on Black Ops 1. I had like over 40 days on Black Ops 2. Right there, that's 160 days worth of gameplay on 3 different
Gosh.
Call of Duty. You're not even including the most recent MW, which I have another 40 something days on. I mean, I have hundreds of days put into these games.
Mhm.
Crazy.
So I do want to ask you, kept saying that the Cold War, that it just wasn't like you were just kind of saying, you kind of hope the next one is better. Like, what was it about Cold War that just kind of put you off?
So you
From
know what bothers me the most about the newest Call of Duties is how they're forcing you to grind to compete.
Okay.
And if you want me to explain that, each weapon has to go through a series of levels to unlock the attachments to make the gun worth using.
Mm-hmm.
They started that with MW. And it takes about, if you're a good player, you can do it about 4 or 5 hours. You can max out a gun. But if you're not a very good player, it's going to take you about 7 to 10 hours of gameplay to max out one gun.
Dang.
So if there's 50 guns in a game and it's taking the average person, we'll just say 10, or we'll say the average person, it takes them 6 hours of gameplay to max out a gun. And then there's 50 guns, 50 times 6. I mean, dude, like that's insane amounts of time that you have to invest just to get the guns where they're usable.
Yeah.
Where they're usable. I don't have that kind of time anymore.
Maybe,
not like I used to.
Maybe that's
I don't have
why I always just picked a gun and I just stuck with that gun.
Because once you max it out, you at least have all the attachments and stuff for it. And these people are going for gaskets, and these people are doing like going for diamond weapon, like all this stuff. I just don't have that kind of time anymore.
Yeah.
As much as I wish I did, I don't have that kind of time anymore. And it really hurts me because like I want to put time into these games and I want to use different weapons on these games, but I don't want to be forced to put 10 hours of gameplay in just to max out one weapon. I should be able to max out a weapon within a matter of 2-3 hours max. It shouldn't take me a day's worth of gameplay to max out one gun. It just shouldn't. And that's my main problem with the Call of Duties. You can't be a casual player anymore. You're either a grinder or you don't play at all. Like you just can't be a casual Call of Duty player. You're going to get completely and totally screwed over by the people that do grind. Because they got the best of the best. They have the best attachments. They got the best guns. They got everything unlocked. They got everything, and they're gonna have the upper hand on you. So you diving into a game, throwing a gun on and realizing how bad that gun is without attachments and realizing that you got to put hours of your time in just to get that gun to be competible with the other people that are running. Like, it's just, how do you have that much time?
Yeah.
How?
That's appealing to me.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I can jump on Apex whenever, and if I'm lucky, I get the attachments I need to make my weapon better.
But at least with that game, when you pick up a gun off the ground, you know what you're grabbing. Like you're not getting handed a gun that takes a year to aim down sights. You're not getting handed a gun that has, I mean, you getting the right attachments so that you have a sight, so that you have an extended mag, so that you have the barrel stabilizer, so that you have all those things. That's completely different from creating a class and then having to grind for like days to get the gun to the point where you actually can use it and it be like relevant.
Yeah. And the
even
grind,
in Warzone, when you can call in like a care package to like get one of your custom classes, it's still, you have to grind to create those custom classes. You spend all of this like money that you collect by doing bounties or whatever, even in the battle royale version of the game. You still have to constantly be grinding to make those games.
Call of Duty is very unbalanced in my opinion. 100%. It's very unbalanced. The chances of you winning a game of Cold War just solo queuing or randomly queuing with people, it's just not likely at all. Like it's just not. It's not a casual game. That game is for the grinders. It's for the people that have all the time in the world to sit there and put into getting the things that are necessary to be able to achieve wins. But that's my number one pet peeve with the newest Call of Duties is how much time you have to put in just to be even relevant on the game. Like I don't want to put that much time in. Like if I wanted to throw in Cold War right now, I still only have, I've had the game for months and I've put time into the game and I probably only have 4 or 5 guns that are maxed out with like levels. So now like if I do want to go and actually have a good time playing, I'm only allowed to use those 4 or 5 guns that I've already maxed out. Because if I continue to try and level up something brand new, I'm just going to get a headache and I'm going to get pissed off and I'm going to get frustrated because
Yeah.
I'm using a gun that doesn't compete. It won't compete.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't be that way. Back on Black Ops 4, Cold War, the only thing you could even put onto your gun was either a grenade launcher or a red dot sight. Like, it was two things. Like, you put a red dot on it, put a grenade launcher on it. Like, I mean, you got two attachments.
Yeah.
It was one or the other. Like, I mean, there's probably a couple of other things that I can't remember about that game, but I do remember you could just create classes and the guns worked. You weren't at a disadvantage because you didn't put hours and hours and hours and hours of your time into it.
Yeah.
You could still compete by just turning it on and jumping into a game.
Yeah. At that point, your only disadvantage is your skill level.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. And back then, to get better, you grinded against people that were better. Like, that's how you got better, was playing against better people. Now you're forced to play against people at your own skill level, which I think is ridiculous. Because I don't want to always have to sweat. I want to get onto a Call of Duty game and play against a bunch of no thumb Timmies that are clueless about what's going on. I would love to do that. I don't want to. I don't
Just
want to sit
play
there and
against
sweat
me.
every single time. I just want to get on and have some fun playing some games. I don't want it to be a sweat fest every time.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've even played Cold War recently with y'all know Strobsy. We played some Cold War not too long ago, and she says that she doesn't like to play in the lobbies with me when I'm queuing because they're just completely different from the lobbies that she gets in when she's playing by herself. And if it's that apparent and like aware to somebody that's been diving into games and like, well, when I play with you, I can't even do anything versus when I play by myself, I'm on top of the leaderboards getting the most kills and all this stuff the whole time. So it's like, I mean, how is that fun? How is that fun for any of us? We want to be
Yeah.
able to play together and her actually,
Enjoy it.
not be exactly. It's really frustrating. That whole aspect of the Call of Duty series could definitely be changed, in my opinion. And they need to go back to some of their older roots and leave it alone for the casual gamers. Because not everybody has all the time in the world to put into these games.
Yeah.
They just don't. I don't.
Yep.
I stream and I don't have the time to put into these games. But
Yeah.
that's what's cool about CS:GO. There's no attachments for those guns. You can buy a gun, that gun works.
Mm.
But
But the skins totally affect how well your guns work in that game.
Oh,
And I will
absolutely.
never be convinced otherwise.
yeah, I like that. JD said I could get behind a casual mode where everything is unlocked. Yeah, deal. Let's go.
Yeah.
Where you don't have to work for everything. It's just handed to you. That's the way it should be.
Yeah, I don't want to have to be level 50 to use a RPG. Come on.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And games where you have to grind just don't interest me anyway. That's why I don't like Destiny. Because I don't want to grind.
Destiny's a huge grinding game.
Mm-hmm.
And that game's set up way worse than Call of Duty, especially if you get into like the Trials of Osiris side of things and you start playing, trying to get to the lighthouse. That's a whole nother world of grinding because you gotta do raids, you gotta do missions, you gotta be constantly worried about your power, light level, or whatever you want to call it. You got like it's a whole nother world of grinding. And even if you do get the item that you're looking for, there's another person that has a better version of it, with a different role or a higher power level or light level. So like even if you think that you've got what you're looking for, there's somebody else that's got something better, and it's the same thing. It's just better. And then you go into some trials and play against a bunch of sweats. If you don't have the right weapons and you haven't put hours and hours of your time into that game, you're not going to compete.
Yeah.
You're just not.
Yep.
Dude, I love Destiny. Can I keep it anymore? Yeah, dude. It's a grind.
Yeah.
Destiny 1 was amazing. I
Oh,
grinded
yeah.
the crap out of it. I had some of what I thought were the best guns in the game. And then Destiny 2, I didn't even touch it.
Yeah.
Didn't touch it. I mean, Destiny 1, they didn't really have to get rid of Destiny 1. They could have just
Updated it.
continued on.
I just
But yeah, I mean, I liked my characters from Destiny, and I would have just preferred to continue on with them and not had all of the new subclasses and stuff. Because I
Yeah.
was the sun hammer dudes. You just jump up in the air and you throw hammers at people.
Oh
It was
yeah.
great.
Titan.
It was great. But yeah, Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Destiny's a whole nother podcast right there. You can
Yeah.
just talk about the strikes and get an hour of discussion about them.
So you mentioned earlier that Warzone is pretty fairly unbalanced.
Extremely.
So would
Extreme.
that be the game you would say is the most unbalanced in terms of its online play, or do you have another
For
one? that
BRs,
you would
yes,
say?
hands
Yeah.
down. It's the most unbalanced battle royale that's ever existed.
Wow.
Hands down. It's
Now, what makes it incredibly unbalanced?
the fact that you can call in your own weapons and
Yeah.
so let's just say my younger brother's 24 years old, and he came over to my house and decided that he wanted to create an online profile and play some games, but I didn't want him to play on mine. So we made him a profile. We put the game into the console and let him start playing. All right. So he dives into a Warzone game. He has no guns. He has no loadouts. He has nothing. What's going to ever give him the edge to compete with these squads that do? How is that balanced? If Fortnite, if you dive into a game, you get a white, a green, a blue, and a gold version of a gun. Like, yeah, of course, there's better versions of those guns out there, but it's all RNG at that point. Like, it's completely random who gets what, and it's not something that like, oh, I'm gonna go collect some money and now I'm gonna have the best guns on the map and I'm gonna like, it's just, I don't know. If you don't understand that whole concept, then I really don't explain it any better. It's just the fact that you have to put hours and hours and hours of your time to be relevant.
Yeah.
You don't have to do that with Apex. You don't have to do that with Fortnite. You don't have to do that with Realm Royale. You don't have to do that with any of these other BR games that exist.
Indeed. Most of the battle royales, you have to compete in order to get those guns. Like you guys were saying with Apex, you run into other people.
Yeah.
You see that their death box is gold. You know they had something gold on them. You go get that rarity thing. You now have something better.
Exactly.
In Warzone, just as you said, there are bounties and things that you can do to earn money that don't even include interacting with other players. You don't even have to touch another player to earn money. And you just call in the best guns in the game. No
Exactly.
problem.
Oh.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's my whole point. That's what I'm trying to explain. Is it's just so there's
There's scouting bounties or scouting things that you just go to a location and they give you money for going to that location. I don't know if they took those out, but when I was playing Warzone, you could literally just go across the map to a circle, stand in that circle, and you got money.
Yeah. Not
was
only would
silly.
it give you money, but it would also reveal the next circle for the map. So you could do that 3 or 4 different times, buy your loadouts, and then get to the point where the circle is going to be super small, and you already have a heads up on the entire game. You got the best guns, you got the
You
best
bought your
position.
gas masks.
You have everything you need. And now all you got to do is get to that point, position yourself, and stay alive. And that's just corny to me.
Yeah.
Super corny.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm also the guy that's super aggressive in Warzone. If I hear gunshots, I'm moving in that direction.
Everyone's got to die eventually in that game.
If it's outside the circle, if I'm like listening to gunshots and I can hear them like within my vicinity, I'm like, oh, there's gunshots. Like, this is where we go.
Let's go find
This is
them.
where we need to be. There's fighting over here. We should be there. Let's fight with them.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be a part of this. I literally, like, I can't stand it. I don't want to go set up and camp and wait and like hold out, like focusing on positioning of circles. Like I'm not gonna do all that. I'm trying to get in as many gunfights as possible. My first goal in a Warzone game isn't the victory. It is to get 10 kills. Like I just want to drop 10 plus kills every single game. I don't care.
A tenth of the lobby. I like it.
It's not. It's less than a tenth. There's 150 that drop in.
150 people?
150?
Jeez. I don't know why I thought it was 100.
Well,
There's 100.
most battle royales is 100.
Wow. Yeah, 150. That's awesome.
Most is
more chances for me to die. That's what that sounds like.
Yeah, so compared to other battle royales, definitely pretty unbalanced.
It's extreme.
And now, in terms of comparing it to other, I guess, Call of Duty games, it is very much a different beast. So it's hard to compare them in terms of their balance. But would you still say it's probably the most unbalanced Call of Duty game online?
You talking about Warzone specifically?
Warzone specifically. Or is there another Call of Duty game you would say is probably more unbalanced in the multiplayer?
Nah, Warzone's probably for sure the most unbalanced multiplayer experience that you can have through the Call of Duty games. Even Blackout was more balanced with the way the weapons worked and gaining the attachments and looting players and the upgrading, and like it's like you had to win a gunfight to get the better things. Like you don't just get handed shit. Oh, sorry, excuse me, but
No, you're good.
Yeah. Nah, it's definitely Warzone's for sure the most unbalanced multiplayer version of any Call of Duty that exists right now and ever has. That doesn't make it any less fun. Like it's definitely it's just for the random person that has never touched a Call of Duty game to dive into it, they're screwed. Like they don't have a chance. And I think that that's stupid because you could be a really good shooter. Like you could be skilled at first person shooters from playing other games. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't have a chance to win a BR when you fall into a map your first time ever falling in. You should get an opportunity and a chance to win, regardless of what's going on. And you don't. You don't in Warzone. There's no way that your ground M4 or your ground shotgun or your ground Mac 10 or whatever your ground loot is, it's not going to outgun what these guys have created in their loadouts. It's just not going to outgun it ever.
And in order to get those awesome custom created guns,
hours and hours and hours of gameplay.
Yeah,
it takes hours and hours and hours of gameplay.
And if you want to get it in the game, you have to take that dude down in order to get it.
Exactly, which is not possible. It's just not possible. But
and you got the people who do it's stylish and pretty cool, and I've done it a couple times, but when you're skydiving and you release your chute and shoot someone and then pull your chute again.
Oh yeah, I've pistol whipped people falling.
So cheesy.
Definitely pistol whipped a handful before they ever touch the ground. But that is a cool thing about MW that I don't hate the fact that you land with a pistol in your hand. Most games you don't land with a gun in your hand, which I don't hate that. I'm okay with landing with a pistol in my hand. That's cool. I'm definitely give me the pistol to start with. I'll take that over nothing. Having to scavenge for a gun. I can't tell you how many times I landed in Fortnite and can't find a gun.
Yeah.
Like it's nothing. There's nothing. I go to a house and it's got nothing. I'm walking around with like a couple mini potions and no gun.
And a bandage.
Some minis, some grenades.
I mean, there's been times of when I think more recently when I've played Apex, I would land and there'll be another team that landed like with us, and I'm like running around like, where's the gun? Where's the gun? Where's the gun? I don't get a gun, but they do, and then all I have is my fists. Though I do more damage with my fists than I can sometimes with a gun. So
BRs where you can actually kind of brawl it out, where you do like 20 or something damage with your fists is pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh man, I think that the time to kill in Apex is way too high, but that's just my opinion. A lot of people love it, and a lot of people say that you just got to hit your shots and stuff like that. But like, I don't. I just still think that it takes too much to kill somebody.
I
I
agree.
get behind that. Yeah.
I'm loving the new game mode. The arenas.
I think that new game mode is really, really cool.
I
I'm
love
glad that they added something like that to that game.
Mhm.
It was necessary.
Yeah.
Yeah, Apex kind of relies on someone's ability to just laser someone down with a full clip. If you can.
Bullet, you can't miss. Like every
Yeah.
single bullet needs to hit. Needs to hit.
Exactly.
Is why I choose a Spitfire.
And what's crazy? That's the Spitfire's got the big mag for sure. The craziest part about that game is every single fight turns into these little cat and mouse games because it only takes 5 seconds to pop a battery.
Mhm.
If you can
Yeah.
run
Yeah.
outside for 5, popping a battery and you're right back in the fight with full health. Like it's they become these little cat and mouse games where if you spend too much time on one fight, you're getting third partied and both teams are gonna get screwed.
Yes.
So like to clean up a fight in that game, you got to be quick and precise. But it takes forever to kill someone. So like every fight turns into these long drawn out things where it's just a matter of time before somebody else comes in and cleans up everything that's happening.
Yeah. And you don't really want that in a BR. You want some quick skirmishes. You don't want it to be like a full on like
fast, and then you want to keep moving on. You don't want these little mountain cat and mouse games where all of a sudden like now this dude's back behind a rock popping a battery. You can't get to him. He's smoked this area. They've dropped in an airstrike. Like I mean, there's just a lot of stuff that's going on. I don't know. I loved that game when it first released, though. I had a lot of fun playing Apex, and I was really, really good with the original Wingman before they nerfed it. I used to two-shot people to the head with the skull piercer on it, pretty consistently. And I ran around with the Wingman and the Peacekeeper, but the Wingman's purple mag had 12 rounds, which now the purple mag only has 10. But those 2 extra shots, that's a whole nother kill. Get both shots. It's just they started nerfing guns into the ground and changing things and adding characters that like do things that I don't think is necessary. Like there's a lot going on with Apex. It's just the futuristic abilities and I don't know. It's not my cup of tea.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, some of the abilities, like especially the characters they started adding after the base, were kind of weird. Like loved Watson, where you could put up those electric fences, but then you had Crypto, who just had like the little robot
The drone.
that could easily be shot down.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, cool.
Yeah, there's some balancing that happen with some of that stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. If they lowered the time to kill, I think I would have a lot of fun playing that game.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
If you could just kill people a little bit faster.
Yeah. I think that was like my biggest issue with it.
Well, that's one reason why I've been really enjoying the arena mode.
Yeah. I mean, I've just been enjoying Apex more now than I did before, but all the times before I was like, I just wish that, I could kill the person faster. Like, I feel like I'm unloading so much damage into them and they're not dying. So
they don't die.
Yeah.
They don't die.
But. All right. Well, we are definitely, getting low on time. So I think we should.
What's your average time for these?
Generally it's like an hour 15. But when we have guests, we'll go a little bit longer.
Okay.
And I mean, if you have more things to talk about, we can. I think I have 2 hours and 15 minutes of like upload time.
I'm just ready to play a game where I can shoot somebody.
Talk about
Now,
it.
Santa, you have evoked the killer within Lindsay.
I mean, did you have more to? Is there anything else that you wanted to say?
I don't have anything specific that I would like
Okay.
to touch on any further, unless you guys have any further questions for me. I've had a lot of fun today, though. I always do with you guys, man. Thank you guys so much for being incredible hosts and having me back on the show, man. I like
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
It's a lot of
thank you
fun.
so much,
Yeah,
Santa.
thanks.
I mean, we have an amazing day whenever we get to see you.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad y'all enjoy it as much as I do. So keep me posted, man. We'll have to do some variation of a podcast where you like pull in more than just one specific guest star at a time, and then like have like
Yeah.
a few different people talk about a topic or something. Maybe focus on Twitch specifically, and then have like 3 or 4 different people pop in, and there'll be a whole screen of us filled up. But I don't know. That's
That'd be awesome.
Like
Yeah.
this.
random
I
thoughts.
like this.
Random thoughts
We'll
from
write this
Santa.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if we do that, we'll obviously have to have Santa
Oh yeah.
as one of the guests on the first multi-guest episodes.
Love to.
I mean, I know we had a multi-guest episode when we did the game of the year, but it was like super quick. Like, guests come in, tell us their game of the year, why, and then they dipped out. We brought someone else in, so. But nothing like where we had all of them like out at once. So
Yeah. Which could be chaotic, but could be awesome.
yeah.
Good chaos.
Yeah, I would think that you could get away with adding 3 more camera sources, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Probably.
it wouldn't go over 6, like 6 different cameras. But that means you could bring on 3 other people, or potentially more if they had 2 people in once, like you guys are set up. But
Indeed.
I think that would be pretty cool. You'd have a lot more open discussions of like just a broader topics where you could ask the same question to each person with expecting different types of answers.
Yeah.
Right.
But it would be cool, man. Definitely
Dude, I
would be good.
love that idea.
I think there's one more question.
The trivia question.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, I
Yeah.
hope you guys have been thinking about that trivia question because
This Asian man, he's got something going on.
Lindsay, what's that
Yeah.
trivia question again?
So it was Shigeru Miyamoto. Sure. The Nintendo developer who did Mario Brothers, Donkey Kong, Zelda, Star Fox, etc. There was something that Nintendo prevented him from doing. What was it?
Like, is it just one thing, or is it like an ongoing thing that
I
he
mean,
still
it's-
can't do it?
I was just
Yeah.
about to ask that.
Yeah.
He still can't do it? Okay.
Yeah.
I have a guess. It's
Assuming
a stupid guess.
I assume he still works there, but
It's a
yeah.
stupid guess. It's ridiculous, but I have a guess.
What is it?
He's not allowed to play the games.
Interesting.
Like he can like
Not
he can
allowed to
like
play the
yeah,
game.
like he comes up
Well,
with the ideas, but he's just not allowed to play it.
He would break it. He's like
Yeah.
the dude from Grandma's Boy,
Oh
where
yeah. It's been so
he does
long.
Dance Dance Revolution. He breaks the game.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my guess.
Yeah,
He's
that's
just
a good guess.
not allowed to play the game.
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess.
Yes, though.
Oh man, that is a really good one. I don't know if this has anything to do with our non-disclosure thing. It actually probably does. Shoot.
I don't-
Santa, do you have an answer? I'm trying.
I really don't. I have no idea what this man's not allowed to do. He is not allowed to.
He is not allowed to microwave fish in the office.
Well, that's probably
I think
nobody's.
that.
No
one's.
Yo, I want to say that if that's the actual answer and Will brought
my
that
answer.
out, then I should just be done with trivia questions.
Should be office wide, right?
No, it's just him. Just him.
Interesting.
I really have no idea, to be honest with you. I don't even have like a good educated guess.
Well, I mean, no. Will did not just pull it out of his butt on that one.
Thank goodness.
He cannot ride a bike to work.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I definitely would have never.
He's not allowed to ride a bike to work.
They pay for his car service because he's, quote, too valuable for him to bike to work.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Dude, imagine.
It's like, I'm so valuable that I'm not allowed to ride a bike to work.
People in Asia, don't a ton of people like ride bicycles? So like,
yeah, biking's a big thing.
That's like, yeah, exactly. That's not something that I would have never guessed that in my life.
Yeah.
Wow.
Though there should be an office-wide rule about the fish.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I would
And
have never even.
broccoli doesn't microwave well either. But
Yeah.
It's a cool piece of trivia, though. I like that. I'm going to store that in the banks.
I thought it was really
Lock
cool.
it away.
Yeah.
You did an amazing job, Lindsay, of finding another one that stumps us all.
Of having one sent in to you. That's not
Yes.
just
Yeah. I mean, and please, guys, if you find a trivia question, send it to me. I wanna.
He is.
Makes my job easier.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to wrap up this episode, and we want y'all to be able to contact us and check us out on other platforms. But first, Santa, where can the listeners find you?
Well, I am SantaSlayz with 1Z on every single platform, from Facebook to TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, all of the above. SantaSlayz with 1Z. There is a handful of other SantaSlayz out there floating around, and they're all really good dudes. I just, I'm the one that has 1Z.
The one that has 1Z.
There you go.
Yeah. None of them look like Santa either.
It's just disappointing.
Do you have a link tree, Santa?
I've never set up a link tree. No.
They're pretty dang cool.
Yeah, probably should do that at some point.
And I mean, come on, Christmas tree, Santa.
Yeah,
I should.
it's there. It's already
I
there.
need.
Uh,
I definitely set that up.
all right, Will, would you like to tell listeners where they can find us?
Yeah, we have our link tree. It's at OOTB_gaming. And in there you can find our Discord, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Basically anything and everything dealing with us. So go ahead, check out that, and be sure to check out our Patreon and all the fan-diddly-tastic perks that you can unlock there. And we want to give a huge shout out to our Collector's Edition Patreon, Cody Watkins, also known as Kitsune's Myth. If you've been anywhere around our channel, you know that he is one heck of a dude, and we love him very much. He's always in our Discord, playing games with us. He's really an MVP of the community.
Yeah. And also, speaking of Patreon, there's certain levels with Patreon that will give you extra entries to our quarterly giveaway. The next one's coming up next month.
Mm-hmm.
So just stay tuned with that. It'll probably be posted in the Discord. As for me, you can find me on YouTube, Twitch, and Instagram at Ace King King, and Twitter is Ace King King 77.
Please make sure to leave a review on our podcast on whichever platform you found us on. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when we post a new video. And as always, thank you so much for listening, and please join us next week.
This has been Out of the Box Gaming with Nick Picard, Will Kinsey, Lindsay, and our special guest SantaSlayz. Thanks for playing along.